ॐ मङ्गलम् ओङ्कारमङ्गलम् ॐ मङ्गलम् ओङ्कारमङ्गलम् गुरुमङ्गलं गुरुपादमङ्गलम् गुरुमङ्गलं गुरुपादमङ्गलम् ॐ मङ्गलम् ओङ्कारमङ्गलं गुरुमङ्गलं गुरुपादमङ्गलम् गुरुमङ्गलं गुरुपादमङ्गलं गुरुपादमङ्गलं गुरुपादमङ्गलम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। Hari Om and welcome to everyone for this very interesting session of mindfulness and open eye meditation. In last two sessions, we have seen how mindfulness is an absolute awareness, and awareness is our true nature. Therefore, completely one who is in a state of being, is always aware of his or her true nature, and that's the real meditation. For that, there's no requirement of closing the eyes at all, because awareness is an absolute consciousness. It knows by itself. Okay, coming back to our today's session. Today's session, 7 supporting pillars of mindfulness. 7 supporting pillars of mindfulness. This topic is very effective in understanding the mindfulness as well as to reach to that state of mindfulness. Let us focus one by one. The first supporting pillar is be wise and not otherwise. Be wise and not otherwise. What I mean? See, one who is completely in the present situation and does not get into the past unnecessarily or does not get carried away by the past experiences unnecessarily. Also, one who does not get into a wrong thinking about a future. That means does not jump off and on to the future without any reason. So, such person who knows the present as the reality and focus on the present is a wise person. I would give a beautiful example. See what happened. A great warrior during Mahabharata war, Arjuna, a great warrior, got lost in his past experiences and also was completely thinking very incorrectly about the future. So, a right advice was given by Krishna Bhagavan that, oh dear Arjuna, do not waste your time in brooding over the past and do not ever keep thinking of future which at present is not there. And similarly, the past at present is not there. So present is the reality. So in present, what is the reality? All of them, O Arjuna, whosoever are standing in front of you in opposite army, they are there to fight with you. So please do not sympathize. Be very firm on your role. Be firm on your duty. Be firm on the present reality. And therefore, if he who or she who understands the situation and completely give his or her best in the present is a wise person. And this wise person, that means a present situation. Also, the mind in presence is a direct support for the mindfulness. So hope the first pillar, which is a supporting pillar of mindfulness, is clear in our mind. Now, let us take up the second pillar. The second pillar is be sensitive and not sentimental. Be sensitive and not sentimental. Being sensitive is to understand everyone around us. Being sensitive is to understand everyone around us. Also, we must understand the situation, whatever the situation there at that moment. And this person is not conditioned by any wrong notion. This person is not conditioned by any wrong notion. So, he who is not conditioned, but he has a great or right understanding for an individual or a situation or the world around, what will happen to him or her. The outcome of such no conditioning of the mind, or one who is absolutely sensitive towards the person, that means towards an individual or people and situation, his mind will think correctly and his intellect will take a right decision. So the experiences of life, when it keep coming to all of us, and if we are not conditioned by anything, what happens? Our mind remains very active and thinks correctly. So, one who thinks correctly can take a right decision at right moment. What happens in a sentimental people? They are conditioned by so many things. So, therefore, the experiences of life are very difficult for them to digest. And they get carried away by the experiences of life and become very touchy to situations as well as the comments of the people as well as a reaction of this world, and therefore they cannot really practice mindfulness. Whereas a sensitive person who is not conditioned, who is not sentimental, can correctly understand the situation around the person or individual and the world and take a right decision at right time. A classic example has come to my mind. What's that? See, in years before, Mohan Karamchand Gandhi, he was traveling somewhere and he had a ticket, railway ticket of first class compartment. Having got the ticket of first class compartment, when he entered and wanted to rest as the train will start, then the guards, the Britisher guards, they have taken him forcefully out of the bogie with his luggage and threw him out. He was absolutely insulted. But at this moment, a very, very crucial moment, Mohan Karamchand Gandhi did not allow his mind to be sentimental. His mind took a right decision. His intellect was absolutely judging the situation correctly. What decision did he take? He took a right decision. Understanding the whole situation of country, knowing that if I am an educated person, if I am a barrister and who has so much of name, fame and education, these people, the Britishers, that time, they treated him so badly. How would they treat to my brothers and sisters of the India, those who are staying or living in so many small places called as villages? This thought has given him such an inspiration. From Mohan Karamchand Gandhi, he has become a Mahatma Gandhi. Just imagine. One has to be sensitive and not sentimental. One who is sensitive can very rightly follow mindfulness. Now, the third supporting pillar of mindfulness is be responsible and not fearful. Be responsible and not fearful. See, being responsible, what exactly it requires? For the responsible or for the responsibility, what is required? Very important point. We require right knowledge of our action as well as right knowledge of the field where I am going to act. That also requires a experience with a very expert guidance. What I mean, let me be more clear about it, that a person should have a right knowledge about the field and the action. And this person should have an experience in doing the right actions with a very expert guidance with it. Let me give an example. See, a surgeon who is now ready to do a brain surgery. So this surgery is a very major surgery. So therefore, what is the first thing? If a surgeon becomes very scared, then what right action this person can do? It's not possible. So therefore, fear is not required. What is required? One has to be responsible one's own action, even though it is very tough. Though this operation, which is a major operation, it takes long time, 6, 7, 8, sometimes 10 hours. But if this person who is a surgeon, neurosurgeon, has a complete mastery over the subject, as well as the right experience and the practice of the actions, what is expected from him, with a very proper guidance from his seniors, then this person is now ready to take a responsibility without fear. Because if the fear factor enters into the mind, this person's mind will get completely distracted and may have a very difficult as well as a grave consequences of his action. Therefore, my dear friends, we all have to take responsibilities in our life. That does not mean we have to be fearful in life. If you have a right knowledge and you have a right experience with proper prior guidance by an expert, then you are a right person for taking any responsibility in life without fear. And that will help you to develop a great mindfulness. Let us move on to the next principle. And our next principle, which is a great supporting pillar, is be friendly and not careless. Be friendly and not careless. What do I mean being friendly? See, being friendly is an attitude which is a very fantastic attitude. Why? This person is ready to help whosoever comes to him. Whosoever comes to him, and does not have any partial mind that I will help this person, I will not help that person because this person is very dear to me, and this person does not have that sort of dearness for me. Now, this is not a friendly mind. Friendly mind is an open mind. One who wants to extend his or her hand to anyone who comes for the help. Who comes for the help. In his mind, he has grown above the likes and dislikes. So, such person can do a great help to anyone who comes to him. Can I give one example which makes this point more clear? See, in a class, there are n number of students and all of them have a different category. All of them have a different lifestyle. All of them have a different life status too. But a teacher in the class is equal to everyone. Whosoever comes to him, he gives his best without any partiality. He does not see who is asking a question, how many times he is asking a question. This person is always ready to extend his helping hand and make that person come out of the difficult situation or difficulty, whatever he or she is facing. So, this friendly attitude is extremely important in practicing the mindfulness. Is extremely important in practicing mindfulness. Now coming up our next supporting pillar, very important. Be focused and not distracted. Be focused and not distracted. Being focused, what do I mean? Being focused, the first point. When a person is focused, he knows what he wants and why he wants. What he wants and why he wants. Therefore, when clarity is there in his mind and intellect, any situation, even if it is unconducive, it does not really affect this person and takes away his focus. Never. Even in the most difficult situation or unconducive situation, this person remains focused because he knows what exactly he wants and why he wants it. Fantastic example, and everyone loves this entity or a person, and that is Hanumanji. How is it so? See, when Hanumanji wanted to go to Lanka to find out Sitaji, when he jumped from the shore of the sea, the first obstacle was Mainaka Parvat, and this was sent by the Devatas to test Hanumanji, that whether he is qualified to do this job. So, when Mainakaji or Mainaka Parvat came with all the comforts on him and started requesting Hanumanji, "Oh dear Hanumanji, you are going so far. Now you need some rest. You will get some strength. So rest for some time. I will provide you this, that, and so on." Hanumanji, with his very right approach, told him, "My dear Mainakaji, I have one focus in my mind right now. So, for me, there is no other thing required at present. So, keep whatever request of yours with yourself. I may have a time while returning back, so I may think about it." So, he very beautifully got out of it and never got tempted because of the comforts. So the first important point, when you are focused, do not fall prey to any comfort. Second important point, then came Surasa. Surasa was in the form of a very big snake, and that snake told Hanumanji that I want to eat you. So Hanumanji requested, "My dear Sursa Mata, please wait, let me accomplish my master's job and then I will be ready for you." She was not agreeing, so he could find a very beautiful trick. He said that if I enter your mouth, then you have to eat at that time. But if I enter your mouth and come out of it, and if you cannot eat me, then you have to leave me. She agreed. Hanumanji really became so big, so big, so big. So Sursa also stretched her mouth. Bhagwanji, Hanuman was very sharp and wise. He immediately became very small, entered her mouth quickly and came out of it. Sursa could not close her mouth in that time. So she was so happy that such a brilliant person who is focused even in a difficult situation will definitely do the job of the master. Third obstacle came Singhika. She had a very different power. Whosoever was going from the space called as Akash and the shadow which falls on the surface of the sea, she used to catch that shadow and pull that person or object and eat it. So, again, Hanumanji, when he was flying, his shadow fell on the surface of water. And you can imagine, she started pulling him. So here, Hanumanji understood that now this intellectual trick will not help. The request will not help. So he used his muscle power and gave one pow. And that's how he could come out of the third obstacle. Think now how focused he was every moment when he was doing the job of his master. This focus is required even though there are difficulties, obstacles. You should not get distracted at all. Such person can really follow a complete mindfulness. Next principle called as a supporting pillar for mindfulness is be optimistic and never be pessimistic. Be optimistic. See, being optimistic means whatever this person wants to do something specific job, task. So, he remains very positive towards it. What does it mean? What is meant by positiveness? His mind is absolutely clear that my whole attention, my whole awareness is on my action, and I do not have to think continuously about the result of this action. So therefore, this person is not clinging to the results of the action. What is the outcome? Outcome is he can completely pour his energy in his action with complete positiveness, and therefore the action can be very effective. See, such person who is doing his action with very cheerful mind and a great enthusiasm is a very infectious. His cheerfulness, his enthusiasm is very infectious. We all know how infectious is cheerfulness and enthusiasm. So one who has this cheerfulness, positivity and enthusiasm, even though there are difficulties in life, the right help come automatically from n number of sources and you will accomplish your task. See, I have a very beautiful example for it. Swami Chinmayanandji, Puj Gurudev, when he started his first Gita Gyan Yajna, there was no one with him. There was no one with him. And nobody was there to organize or to really do a number of things for him. But he was so optimistic that I have to take this knowledge of scripture to every doorstep. So, Bhagavad Gita, Ghar Ghar Mein, that was his complete mindset. And he was so optimistic. So, he reached one town called as Pune, went to one person's house whom he didn't know at all, requested that person about the staying for few days. Immediately that person agreed. Then he himself started writing about the leaflets and pamphlets about the program that's called as the Yajna, the Pravachan, and he himself went and distributed to n number of people using the bicycle. When he started his first Pravachan, there were only 4 people, including himself. So imagine, from this state, he, with his optimistic mind status, mind powerful state, reach to the global whole world. He could reach to everyone, not only in India, but to the many part of the globe, just because he was extremely optimistic. And this optimistic state of his mind, where he was very positive, very cheerful, very enthusiastic, collected so many people around him and came a beautiful Chinmay world. Just imagine the power of being optimistic. So the next important principle and the last supporting pillar is be alert and not tense. Be alert and not tense. See, being alert is a superb quality of mind and intellect. What it is to remain balanced in every transaction of life. It is to remain balanced in every transaction of life. See, alertness does not give tension. This is a very important point. Generally, when people want to do some very important job for themselves, they become so tense and half the energy is gone out of their capacity just to maintain their state of mind. Just imagine. Whereas this alert person takes every experience of the life as a learning process. Every experience as a learning process. And therefore, if a great so-called as success comes to him, he does not become very proud and egoistic. Or if a failure comes, he does not become very low or depressed. Why? Because he is very alert about his state of mind, which the balanced state of mind. The balanced state of mind can be very effective in any action. I have a very fantastic example. During the Kargil war, there was one person, a soldier, who came forward and started attacking to the all enemies. His name was Yogesh Yadav. See, there were several bullets hit and were there in his body. He was injured, but still he was alert and his mind was balanced. He always, that moment, was thinking that if I'm still alive, having got so many bullets in my body, that means there is a great purpose for me to do the best in life. With this alert mind, he did his best. He destroyed n number of the enemy bunkers, as well as he killed n number of people of enemies and came back to our own group and told every information and then got absolutely collapsed. But till then was very alert. So my dear friends, we all have to be alert as a soldier. That any time, from anywhere, any difficult situation can come to any one of us. But if you are ready with all these supporting pillars of mindfulness, no one can take away your awareness. And that is reality. Thank you. Thank you very much for being with us. Start focusing one supporting pillar in your life. You will understand your mindfulness will grow like anything. And a moment will come where you will be always in a state of complete being. That means you will be in a state of meditation with open eyes. Thanks once more and see you in the next and the last session of mindfulness. Jai.